Hello and welcome to the ultimate guide to the CAGED system, Step 1. If you don't know what the CAGED system is, quite simply it's a way of learning a chord and scale all over the fretboard based around your 5 different major chord shapes from open position, which you hopefully all know, you'll have to know to do this, C, A, G, E and D, which very cleverly spells the word caged. So we're going to learn this in C major. We're going to start with learning a C major chord in the 5 different caged positions. Starting quite simply with a C major chord in what we think of as the C major shape. Everyone knows that as a C major chord. So here it is. Next, we go to 3rd position. We put a bar down and we make the A shape with fingers 2, 3 and 4, 2 frets higher. This is a C chord using the A shape. Next, we go to 5th position. We put our bar down and we make the G shape with fingers 2, 3 and 4. This is a C chord using the G shape. That's pretty tough. It's often not used in that full form. I use it a lot just without the 3rd finger, just 5 strings with fingers 2 and 4. And perhaps even more with just the top 4 strings. Going on, 8th position. Using the E shape, bar down, make the E shape with fingers 2 and 4. Next, 10th position, this is the D shape. You don't actually need a bar for this. Often you've got a bar down when you're changing to it anyway, so it's quite a good idea to practice it with the bar down. Bar at 10th, make the D shape with fingers 2, 3 and 4, and you're just strumming the top 4 strings like a normal D chord. You can hit the A string as well, it's still part of the chord. That brings us back round to the C shape again. We're back to C. This time in closed position, we're at 12th fret. Bar down, make the C shape with fingers 2, 3 and 4. So, to summarise, C chord using the C shape. C chord using the A shape, 3rd position. 5th position, C chord using the G shape. 8th position, C chord using the E shape. 10th position, C chord using the D shape. That brings us back to the C shape again in 12th position. And that's it in terms of learning a chord. You can start on any chord anywhere. For example, if you wanted to do, say, a D chord, maybe you know this D chord as a bar chord using the A shape. 5th position, now that's the A shape, so you're on the word A of the word CAGED. So then you go up to the G shape, then the E shape, etc. Then the D shape, and then the C shape. Let's go back there to do it. So it follows the same sequence round and round. That is the first step to learning the CAGED system. Some people stop there, but that's not where you stop. That's just the beginning. If you want to learn some more and go on to the next step, please watch the next video where we'll be going over the C major scale in each of the 5 caged positions. Thanks for watching. I'm Jay. Please like me and subscribe. Hello and welcome to the ultimate guide to the CAGED system, Step 2. In this video, we will be looking at playing the major scale in each of the 5 different caged positions. In what we think of as the C position, we're working in the key of C major. We've got our C chord. The scale pattern for a C major scale in this position is open 1, 3, open 2, 3, open 2, 3, open 2, open 1, 3, open 1, 3, and backwards. You're noticing I'm not starting and ending on a C to make it a true C major scale. I'm going to the lowest note in that position and the highest note in that position. Next position, the A position. There's our C major chord using the A shape, the C major scale using the A shape. We're actually back in 2nd position to start with, starting your 2nd finger with 2, 4. 1, 2, 4. 1, 2, 4. 1, 3, 4. 1, 3, 4, but up to third position. 1, 3. And backwards. Next is the G position. Got our C major chord using the G shape. The scale, the C major scale in this position. 1, 3, 4. 1, 3, 4. 1, 3. Back a position on 1, 2, 4. Back up to fifth for 1, 2, 4 again. 1, 3, 4. Backwards. Okay, next position, 8th position. This is the E shape. C major chord using the E shape. So the scale starts in 7th position. We're basically in 7th position with 1, 2, 4. 1, 2, 4. 1, 3, 4. 1, 3, 4. 2, 4. 1, 2, 4. Backwards. D position, 10th position, D chord, C chord using the D shape. The scale in this position, 1, 3, 4. 1, 3. 1, 2, 4, but this is back a fret. Stay there, 1, 2, 4 again. Now we move back up a fret for 1, 3, 4, and 1, 3, 4 again. Backwards. And that brings us back to the C shape, which we've done in open position, but we do it again in closed position because every other key that you do this in, it will be in closed position. So we have in 12th position, 1, 2, 4, 1, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, 1, 3, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4. Backwards. So that's the C major scale in each of the 5 different caged positions. Associates the pattern with the chord shape that goes with it. So step 1, we learnt a C major chord. Step 2, we learnt the C major scale. Again, a lot of people stop there. That's not the end of the story. In step 3, we'll be looking at playing more major chords in the key of C in each of the 5 different caged positions. Thanks for watching. Please like me and subscribe. Hello and welcome to the ultimate guide to the cage system, step 3. In this video, we're going to be looking at playing the chords of C, F and G in each of the 5 caged positions. We're in the key of C. These are the 1, 4 and 5 chords, the primary chords in the key. Starting in C position, we've learnt the C major chord using the C shape. Now to play the F chord in this position, we put our bar down and we play it with the E shape. You're probably familiar with playing an F chord. There shouldn't be any surprises here. And to play a G chord, you can probably all guess we use the G shape, which we know and love, however you play it. So that's C, F, G. Next, we go to 3rd position, and then we've got our C major chord using the A shape. Our F major chord will be using the D shape. Our G major chord will be using the E shape. So C, F, and G. Next, we move to 5th position. This is the C major chord using the G shape. The F chord will be using the C shape. And the G chord will be using the D shape. So we have C, F, G. Next, we go to the E position. This is 8th fret. Using the E shape, we get a C major chord. To get the F chord, we make the A shape. You will no doubt be familiar with this. How you play it with the flat finger, maybe. To play the G chord, we move back a position and make the C shape. So C, F, G. Next, we go up to the D position, the final one. So we've got a C chord using the D shape. Our F chord uses the G shape. As I've said before with the G shape, you don't have to do it all. It's not often you play it all like that. Often it's just the top 4 string. And the G chord uses the A shape. Bit of a squish, now we're getting higher up the fretboard. So C, F, G. Okay, and finally, that brings us back round to the C shape, which we did in open position. We'll have a quick look at it now because it is in closed position, and in every other key, this pattern will be in closed position. So C using the C shape, squish it in, F using the E shape, that's the frets higher in 13th position, and G using the G shape, this time it's closed. So C, F, G. And there we have it, the 3 primary chords. You can see they all use the same 5 shapes. Get to know these in each of the 5 different positions, and all of a sudden you've got a whole host of ways of playing the same 3 chords, which you were. You can then do those in many other positions. Giving you different voicings for the same chords. In the next video, step 4, what will I be doing? We'll be looking at changing these major chords into minor chords, a C major chord to a C minor chord. Thanks for watching. I'm Jay. Please like me and subscribe. Hello and welcome to the ultimate guide to the CAGED system, step 4. In this video, we're going to be looking at minor chords, how we can change our C major chord in each of the 5 different positions into a C minor chord to show us how the minor chords work out in the CAGED system. Let's get going. First position, C, using the C shape. Now, I should perhaps say only 3 of these of the 5 CAGED chord shapes actually work for minor chords. The other 2, we can work with them, but they don't make good chord shapes. A, D, and E are the ones that work. You will be aware from open position of A minor, D minor, and E minor. They work. The C and the G don't work as well as full chords. So, C major, turning this into a C minor chord. Now, this doesn't work, but what you can do is you can play little bits of it, split it up into two bits. You see, you'd be wanting to flatten your second finger down to the 1st fret, which you could do. You could do maybe like that. But that's a bit of a pain. You can do it, and you can't use the top E string because we need an E flat, and we can't flatten the open string. So basically what we can do 2 3-note chords, 2 triads. That's the bottom bit of a C minor, and then the top bit that we can play. Okay, let's go on. C major in the A shape in the next position. This is nice and easy to turn into a minor chord. It's the minor shape. It's the note under your 4th finger that needs to go down a fret. We change to the A minor shape. And you should have all have played a minor chord. Thus, that's C minor. Right, the next position is C using the G shape. thus, and we can get it thus. Okay, let's go on to the E position, 8th position. This is C major using the E shape. Easiest of all to change to a minor. Take your second finger off. You will no doubt all know that one. That's our E minor shape. Then we're up to the D shape. C minor, C major using the D shape. Thus, it's the top note that's under your third finger right now. Needs to go back a fret to make a minor chord. We just rearrange our fingers. And you should recognize that shape as your D minor shape from open position. But now that's a C minor shape. And that brings us back to the C major. We would do this again because it's in closed position, and in every other key it will be in closed position. So again, it doesn't work as a whole shape, but we can play the bottom bit, bottom half of it, C flat and G, or we can play there. Could add a fourth finger as well if we wanted. So that's how we turn a C major chord into a C minor chord. Get to know each of those 5 shapes, even the ones that don't work, the C and the G shape. Get to know those because those little bits that you can play are very useful. And when we change these, when we move these up to 7th chords as well, those positions do work. In the next video, step 5, we'll be looking at playing all of the chords in the key in each of the 5 different caged positions. Thank you for watching. Please like me and subscribe. Hello and welcome to the ultimate guide to the CAGED system, step 5. In this video, we'll be looking at playing all of the chords in a key in each of the 5 different CAGED positions. We are, of course, working in the key of C, so I'm talking about all the chords in the key of C. Okay, let's get going. First position, C chord using the C shape. So that's the C chord. That's our 1 chord. The next chord in the key of C is a D minor. So you should know most of these from open position. That's our D minor. Next comes E minor. Of course, you know that. Next comes F. This is the 4 chord. That's a bar chord using the E shape. Next comes G. This is our basic G chord. 6th chord is A minor, which you will know. The 7 chord is a funny one. It's a diminished chord. It's often not used. Often it's substituted for the 5 chord. And it's hard to play a full chord in these positions, but you can play little bits of it. I wouldn't worry too much, but here's how we would play the B diminished chord, the 7th chord in this position. That shape actually works pretty well, but it's just on the inner 4 string. Okay, all the chords in C major now in the 3rd position, starting with C major using the A shape. So that's the 1 chord. The 2 chord is D minor. Now, this uses the C shape, which if you know from previous videos doesn't work as well. But we can get 2 usable chord shapes from it. We get and we get possibly with the 4th finger. That's our D minor. E minor uses the D minor shape. That's fine, the top 4 strings. F, that uses the D shape. G uses the E shape. A minor uses the G shape, which again doesn't work as well, but we can split it up into 2 workable halves. We have and we have. Now, the B chord, the diminished chord, the 7th chord, we got the same shape. It's in both positions, really. That's the best way to do it. Okay, the G position. We play a C major chord using the G shape. The 2 chord is D minor. This uses the A minor shape. E minor is next, is the 3 chord. Now this is in the would-be C shape, but we can't play a minor chord with the C shape very well, so we're splitting it into 2 halves. We've got this and this. Where are we? F, the 4 chord. F uses the C shape. G uses the D shape. A minor uses the E minor shape. And here we're at the B diminished chord again. We've got a lower triad and an upper triad. Again, don't worry yourself too much about those. Next, we're in the E position, a C major chord using the E shape. The D minor chord uses the G shape, which splits up into and E minor. You should know that. That's the A minor shape. F, you'll know this using the A shape. G uses the C shape. A minor uses the D minor shape. And here we come to our little friend, the B chord again. Once more, don't worry too much about it. We've got this triad and we've got this. Okay, where are we now? We're into the D position. C major chord using the D shape. D minor chord. E minor shape. The E minor chord, this is a G type shape. So again, we split it up. Excuse me. And F uses the G shape. G now uses this A shape. A minor, this is a C type shape. We're splitting it up into 2 halves, this bit and this bit. That leaves our B diminished friend again, which we can have this. Okay, I'll just stick with that. That brings us back to the C position. But this time it's in closed position. So we'll do it again in closed position, because in every other key it will be in closed position. C chord using the C shape. It's a squish. It's a squish. D minor using the D minor shape. E minor using the E minor shape. F, G, A minor, and our B diminished friend. And there we have it. There are all the chords in the key of C major in the 5 different C major caged positions. This is going to open up your rhythm playing amazingly. You will no longer be stuck with your chords down here. You can do them in any position and get lots of different tones and voicings that you would never have had. So in the next video, I'll be looking at arpeggios for the first time. We'll be looking at playing all the arpeggios of the chords in each of the 5 different cage positions. Thank you for watching. Please like me and subscribe. Hello and welcome to the ultimate guide to the cage system, step 6. In this video, we'll be looking at all the arpeggios in a key in each of the 5 different caged positions. We're in the key of C, so all the arpeggios in the key of C. Let's get going. So we start in our C major position, based around our C major chord using the C major shape. So we start with the C major arpeggio. I won't necessarily be going C to C or root note to root note with each chord. I'll be playing all the notes from the chord within that one position. So a C major arpeggio. The next chord is D minor, the D minor arpeggio. An E minor arpeggio. A lot of these are really obvious. It's just picking out the notes of the chord, having to only add one extra note that's not in the basic chord shape. An F major arpeggio. A G major arpeggio. An A minor arpeggio. B diminished. Now, the B diminished arpeggio, again, they're a little bit awkward. They work better when you take them up to the next level. You make a diminished seventh or a half diminished seventh chord. But the B diminished arpeggio, I wouldn't bother with that F really, just start on the B. That's all right then. Next position, the A position. We've got our C major chord using the A shape. The C major arpeggio in this position. Other ways you could play that is this A shape here. You could do a flat finger. I prefer to slide my first finger up. Like so. The D minor arpeggio in this position. Stepping back, creeping back a little bit to finish off the arpeggio. You could do it like that. E minor in this position. Where are I? F major in this position. That's a good arpeggio shape. A lot of people don't know that. You can see it uses the D shape at the top there. G major arpeggio. A minor arpeggio. Got a bit excited in the middle of that. A minor does that to me. That gives us back to our B diminished, which we're kind of in the same position as we were before, so the same pattern. Next, we're into the G position. So the C major chord uses the G shape. So start with that arpeggio, C major arpeggio. The D minor chord, the 2 chord, is this. The E minor chord is this. The F major chord, where F is this. I get confused very easily. I could have added one more note at the top. The G major chord is this. The A minor chord is this. Arpeggio, I should be saying arpeggio. And our B diminished arpeggio Going on to the next position, C major using the E shape. This is eighth position. So the C major arpeggio is this. The D minor arpeggio is this. The E minor arpeggio is this. The F major arpeggio is this. The G major arpeggio. The A minor arpeggio is this. The B diminished arpeggio, again, a little bit awkward. Now we're up to the D position, our C major chord using the D shape. So our C major arpeggio is... our D minor arpeggio. Our E minor arpeggio. Our F major arpeggio. Our G major arpeggio. Bit squishy together there again. A minor arpeggio. And our B diminished arpeggio, again, a little bit funny. I mean, it just starts here. You'd have to go there, but let's not bother with that. And that brings us back to the C position. We will do the arpeggios again up in C position because it's a closed position now, and it will be a closed position in every other key. So the C arpeggio. D minor arpeggio. E minor arpeggio. F major arpeggio. G major arpeggio. A minor arpeggio. All a bit squished in there. And again, our B diminished. We have that there. And that's it. In the next video, step 7, I believe, we'll be going back to chords and looking at all of the chords in the key of C major in each of the CAGED positions, but this time taking them up to 7th type chords. After that, there will only be one more video and you will have finished the ultimate guide to the CAGED system. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Please like me and subscribe. Hello and welcome to the ultimate guide to the CAGED system, step 7. This is the penultimate video in this series, and in it we will be looking at all the chords in the key in each of the 5 different CAGED positions, this time taken up to 7th type chords. So, C position, C in C major, we have a C major chord. So in case you didn't know, taking them up to 7th chords gives us a C major 7, a D minor 7, an E minor 7, an F major 7, a G7, an A minor 7, and a B minor 7 flat 5 or half diminished, whichever you prefer. So a C major 7, a D minor 7. You may well know all these from open position. Hopefully you will. E minor 7. Alternatively, F major 7, much more of a jazz shape, that muting the A and the top E string. G7, A minor 7, and our B half diminished. Two ways of playing this, or B minor 7 flat 5 on the inner 4 strings, or the more jazz type shape, muting the D string. Now the A position, C major chord using the A shape. So in this position, we have a C major 7, like so, a D minor 7. Now this is a shape you really may well not know. You really well may not know. Just swap those words around to your liking. It's very useful though, and a lot of people miss it out when they're learning their sevenths. It is this. That's a great minor 7th shape. E minor 7. Just the top 4 strings. F major 7. Again, just the top 4 strings. You can add in the 5th string if you like. G7. A minor 7. Flat 4th finger, I find it easiest to do this. Some people might do a flat 3rd finger, but it's much easier with the 4th finger if you develop it. And the 7th chord, the B minor 7 flat 5, well, we use the same shapes around here as we did with the C position. Or they're the best ones that work. Next, we're into the G position, where we have a C major chord using the G shape. So, starting with the C major 7 chord, we get it thus. A very beautiful and useful shape. You can see our A shape there. We add the major 7th with our 3rd finger. D minor 7. E minor 7. That useful shape again, which you may not have known. F major 7. G7. Again, this is a very useful 7th shape which people, again, don't know or use very much, but it's great. Just 4 strings. A minor 7. And our B half diminished, again, a jazz voicing like this. Muting the A and the top E string. Or you can put that low B on the top and you get this little 4-note chord. Next, the E position, where we have a C major chord using the E shape. So, a C major 7. Jazz voicing, muting the A and the E. Alternatively, you can play it like this. A very lovely major 7th shape. D minor 7. That 4th finger flat across 4 string shape. E minor 7. Just back a position there to get the E minor 7. F major 7. G7. Now, again, that's that C7 shape from open position. We're playing a G7 with it now. But again, there's a variation on this which you may not know, which is a great voicing. We swap this note under our 3rd finger for the note on the top E string, this. great sounding 7th chord. A minor 7. And the B minor 7 flat 5, again, we've got these from back here, the previous position, but we do also have this new shape we can play in this position. This is a good minor 7 flat 5 shape. Okay, next, final one is the D position, where we have a C major chord using the D shape. Okay, so a C major 7, a D minor 7, an E minor 7, an F major 7, a G7, an A minor 7, and the B half diminished, well, again, that shape that I showed you just before, or with the flat 3rd finger. And that brings us back to the C shape, the C position, which again, we will do it in closed position because in every other key it will be in closed position. So C major using the C shape, that's going to turn into a C major 7 shape thus. D minor 7, E minor 7, F major 7, or alternatively, G7. This is worth noting, actually. The full G7 would be like that, right? You're not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. But the top 4 strings are great, very useful. If you just play this, you get a very nice sounding 7th shape, and it's very usable. It's excellent. Well done, little fella. You've done a fine job. Okay, A minor 7, A minor 7, and our B half diminished minor 7 flat 5, or. And that's it. You'll notice the same shapes keep coming up just in different positions used for different chords. So there's not that many to learn, but getting to know where they all are is the tricky thing, I guess. It's not that tricky. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. There's one more left in this series, and that's step 8, which will be all the arpeggios of 7th chords. So the arpeggios of all the 7th type chords that we've just learned. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the final video. Please like me and subscribe. Hello, and welcome to the ultimate guide to the CAGED system, step 8, the final step. In this video, we'll be looking at all the arpeggios in a key in the 5 different CAGED positions, this time taken up to 7ths though. So we're in the key of C. If you didn't know, the chords in the key of C are C major 7, D minor 7, E minor 7, F major 7, G7, A minor 7, and B minor 7 flat 5, or half diminished. So we'll be looking at playing the arpeggios of those chords in each of the 5 different CAGED positions. So the C major position, C chord using the C major shape. Our C major 7 arpeggio. D minor 7, our D minor 7 arpeggio. Notice the minor 7th arpeggios are almost a pentatonic scale. E minor 7 arpeggio. F major 7 arpeggio. G7 arpeggio. Again, I'm not going root to root often. I'm just trying to do all the notes from the arpeggio within that position. A minor 7 arpeggio. B minor 7 flat 5 arpeggio. Sorry, I could have done those as well. Next, we're into the A position, where we have a C major chord using the A shape. Our C major 7 arpeggio. Our D minor 7 arpeggio. Our E minor 7 arpeggio. Our F major 7 arpeggio. Our G7 arpeggio. Our A minor 7 arpeggio. Our B minor 7 flat 5 arpeggio. It's really the same as it is before. We can take the top end of it up a bit like this. Almost the same as back there, just moving up at the top. Next, we're into the G position, where we play our C chord using the G shape. So our C major 7 arpeggio. Our D minor 7 arpeggio. Our E minor 7 arpeggio. Our F major 7 arpeggio. Our G7 arpeggio. Our A minor 7 arpeggio. Our B half diminished arpeggio. And that takes us into the next position, which is our E position, where we play the C chord using the E shape. Our C major 7 in this position. Start with the major 7. Our D minor 7 arpeggio. Our E minor 7 arpeggio. Our F major 7 arpeggio. Our G7 arpeggio. Our A minor 7 arpeggio. Can't help sounding like a C6 arpeggio, right? We're ending on a C, a minor 7 and a 6 of the same chord. Relatively, a C6 is an A minor 7. That was A minor 7. B half diminished. And that takes us to the D position, where we have a C major chord using the D shape. So our C major 7 arpeggio in this position. Our D minor 7 arpeggio. There's that pentatonic sound again. E minor 7 arpeggio. F major 7 arpeggio. G7 arpeggio. Our A minor 7 arpeggio in this position. Our B minor 7 flat 5 arpeggio in this position. And that brings us back to the C position, where we play a C major chord using the C shape. This time it's in closed position, so I will go through it because in every other key it will be closed. So our C major 7 arpeggio. Our D minor 7 arpeggio. Our E minor 7 arpeggio. Our F major 7 arpeggio. Our G7 arpeggio. Our A minor 7 arpeggio. And our B half diminished arpeggio. And there we have it. You have completed the ultimate guide to the CAGED system. Congratulations if you've done all of that and learnt all of those. You have paid your dues. You have learnt the fretboard in the key of C. You've learnt all the musical building blocks in the key of C. Of course, for other keys, it's the same patterns. They just all move around. So thank you very much for watching. Please like me and subscribe.